And a good morning and welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios, and of course, I appreciate your patience and apologize as we got set and ready to go here where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We have an awesome show set up here for you today as we have the Player of the Week, a double dose of the Player of the Week coming to you, proudly presented exclusively by Myers Creek with their two locations that they have, one on the countryside on 33 Rippleton Road in Cazenovia and the other one in the Syracuse Inner Harbor on 720 Van Rensselaer Street. So make sure you go out and see them today. Once again, the Player of the Week coming to you, proudly presented by Myers Creek this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Then we'll jump into our conversation as we always do on a Thursday with Papa Joe. PJ will be joining me here where sports meets life to talk about bowl season, college football playoff, NFL Wk15 recap, and Week 16 picks, but not before we talk about some coaching situations going on in college football and what PJ and I think about that. We're going to woof about a couple things this morning, so I hope you're ready for us to woof. And then at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Malachi James will be joining me. You know he's no stranger to the broadcast, and I appreciate him very much. Consider him and his family my family. And Malachi is transferring out of Syracuse. The New Jersey-based running back will be transferring into the portal out of Syracuse. God bless me, and looking to find himself a new home coming up here for the 2026-27 college football season. That's all coming up on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com here inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. And of course, Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Get yourself out to Great Lakes Honda City today. Let them know that DT sent you, and looking forward for the opportunity of you going out there and finding your next ride. With that being said, we're riding right into the first part of the show today, and that is a double dose of the Central and Upstate New York High School Player of the Week, proudly presented by Myers Creek. Here we go, Player of the Week. And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company, with locations at their Cazenovia. My first of two Central and Upstate New York High School Players of the Week, proudly presented by Myers Creek, has to go to Nathan Quirk. Nathan Quirk of West Genesee, your Wildcats, a triathlete in basketball, baseball, and soccer, and he has committed to the Oswego State Lakers, who you know are on the show all throughout the years, with Jason Leone when it comes to basketball and Scott Landers when it comes to baseball. So he has committed to Scott Landers and Oswego State, but he is a triathlete. And this gentleman just had 11 points, 5 two-pointers, 1 three-pointer in a 70-47 win over Beeville on December 17th, which celebrates the birthday of the one and only Dot. That's right. And we love her. We miss her very much. My great Aunt Dorothy celebrating her birthday. So shout out to Nathan Quirk, who went out there and got the job done with his teammates in a 70-47 win over Beeville on December 17th. He is our Central and Upstate New York High School Player of the Week, proudly presented exclusively by Myers Creek. You can go to Myers Creek on 33 Rippleton Road in Cazenovia on the countryside. You can also go and see them in the Syracuse Inner Harbor by the all-new aquarium that's being built with Myers Creek there on 720 Van Rensselaer Street in Syracuse, New York. Nathan Quirk, triathlete, committed to Oswego State for baseball. But before he heads anywhere for baseball, dude's balling out on the basketball court with West Genesee. Shout out to our triathlete, Nathan Quirk, for being named one of our two high school Players of the Week. And with that being stated, I have my second high school Player of the Week coming up to you, proudly presented by Myers Creek, as we have a double dose this morning. Let's hop right into it. my second high school player of the week. We're actually going to do this up again one more time here on the broadcast. So let's go right back into the player of the week. My second Central and Upstate New York High School Player of the Week, proudly presented by Myers Creek, goes out to Anaj Pitts of Syracuse West. And in her freshman season, I believe she is a freshman out there right now, Miss Anaj Pitts of Syracuse West girls basketball, this week in one game had 21 points, 20 rebounds, 10 steals, and 6 blocks. She said, "Move over, Jordan. Move over, LeBron. Move over, Breanna Stewart. Move over, Caitlin Clark. I'm going to go out here and ball out." 21 points, 20 rebounds, 10 steals, 6 blocks. Just shy of a quadruple-double, but she got a triple-double in a 67-39 win over Jordan Elbridge, which at the time made the team 2-0. Syracuse West, at the time we're talking this morning, is 3-0. So shout out to our Central and Upstate New York High School Player of the Week, proudly presented by Myers Creek, Miss Anaj Pitts, for her triple-double, almost quadruple-double game in a victory over Jordan Elbridge that kept her team undefeated. Anaj, if this is what you're doing early on in your high school career at Syracuse West, I cannot wait to see what you do as you move forward. I don't even know in 22 years of broadcasting how many men's or women's, girls or boys basketball players ever that I've covered that have had 21, 20, 10, and 6 games. So shout out to you for this incredible feat, incredible accomplishment, and for you and your team working together to grab a victory and stay undefeated. Syracuse West is no slouch, and Anaj Pitts, well, I want 4 more blocks or wherever you can find these assists and whatnot to get us a quadruple-double this season. Congratulations to our triple-double machine over here, Miss Anaj Pitts of Syracuse West, for becoming our Central and Upstate New York High School Player of the Week, proudly presented by Myers Creek. Go and visit Myers Creek with your family, with all your loved ones, or just go out there by yourself to 33 Rippleton Road in Kaz, as well as on 720 Van Rensselaer Street in Syracuse, New York, in the Syracuse Inner Harbor. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we got PJ on the show. We got a lot of things to discuss, a lot of things, like I said before, to woof about. So let's bring him in. Papa Joe. Oh, I think we just lost you here for a second, PJ. Let's see if
I'm right here. I'm right here.
You can hear us?
I won't go anywhere.
All right. Okay, yeah, now I can hear you. How you doing?
All right. All right.
So
You're a busy young man, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I heard you saying that when we were getting ready this morning. I think you said it to MT. You said he's busy.
That's right. You are busy.
Yeah, running
I
around.
don't know how you get everything done.
Yeah, running around.
You need an assistant.
I do need an assistant, PJ. I absolutely do need one. So if you know of anybody, you let me know. But I absolutely need one. PJ here with us this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We always love having PJ on the broadcast, and I can't thank him enough for being a part of the show here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So, PJ, we got a lot of things to hop into here. I'm not going to waste a second here, and we never do. So let's take a look at first discussion here, firing coaches during the season. You and I have talked about this before, what we think about this, where we kind of stand on all of this. So I'd love to get your thoughts on when coaches get fired, and we'll talk about college football because that's where we're at this morning. But when coaches get fired during the season, just your thoughts on that.
Well, you know, you've heard me rant on this before. It's totally unnecessary, for one thing. The colleges now are so focused on money that if something happens that doesn't pique their interest, make changes quickly. And that's with respect to the coaches. I mean, I'm pissed because Billy Napier got let go in the middle of the year at Florida. And that ruined the season. Not only that, but I got information in front of me here about all my kids that are transferred out. Yeah. I mean, every school that's going through this now has almost 24 transfer out. I don't know how many coming in, but it guts a team. I think Florida did a good job in getting their new coach, John Summerall. I knew about him. I had to research to talk about him a little bit. But he's another, he's a 5 coach, and he's not a 4 guy. So, our guys, the Bull Gators over here, are going to be looking at his record and what he can do, what he can bring from a 5 to a 4. So, now they get to Sharon Moore debacle up in Michigan, which I guess has been going on for a couple of years, probably even when Harbaugh was there. There's probably 20 coaches that have already been fired, and the musical chairs are now starting to pop up. And a lot of them are even with the teams that are in bowls already. North Texas is one I think of. Of course, Tulane is a big one.
Yeah.
There's others, I'm sure, that you can find out, but I'm not in agreement with that. I'm not in agreement with that. I can't see the logical part about it. If you're trying to redo your staff or redo your roster, there's got to be a better way to do it. If you don't care, you quit or you get fired, and someone else comes in and tries to pick up your mess. And it's a huge mess. Look at Syracuse. Syracuse had a terrible, terrible, terrible year, and their outgoing transfers are enormous.
Yeah.
So is Florida. Florida has 14 right now. I could change today. They got 14 transfer out, and 3 of them are freshmen, true freshmen wide receivers, and they're going to stay, as far as I know. One player, Jordan Baugh, who was the 1,000-yard rusher for Florida this last year, is being heavily recruited for Ohio State. I don't like any of that, but it's all started months before when all the coaches started getting terminated. Tell me what the sense it is. What sense does it make when you throw a coach out in the middle of the year and won't even allow him to finish a year out? If you have a losing record, what difference does it make if you fire the guy? You're not going to bring in a guy right off the bat. Most of the time you're not, unless they're sitting on the sideline. There are some. Ed Orgeron is one. I'd like to see him hook up with LSU somehow, but I don't see what's important about that. Now you're talking about NIL money. There's money everywhere, and I'm thinking that the administration and the coaches are thinking, who can we bring in to allow us to get NIL money for these kids? Now, are you putting that ahead of their education? Don't get me started on that again. At least the semester is going to be over with. And I think January 2nd or 3rd, they're going to start the new semester. I just read something. This is amazing. Read something on a kid yesterday. I can't even remember his name. He's got 7 years of college eligibility. If he got a medical red shirt. He's already been transferred 6 times, 6 schools. How do you keep up with your grade and your homework and stuff like that? I don't like it, Daniel, because what it hurts more is the kids. The kids are really behind the 8 ball here. They're going good. Florida's got a decent team. Syracuse got a decent team to start with. Things start going bad. Kids start dropping classes. They don't do this. They don't do that.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you've got a situation with Moore up there in Michigan. I don't know what the answer is, but I would think that the NCAA should come up with some type of rule that a coach has to complete 1 year of his term, at least. You can fire him after 1 year, but don't do it in the middle of the year. Kids start transferring out. Kids start hustling for NIL money. It's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
Nick Saban has been very vociferous about this for quite some time, and justifiably so, which is, I'm sure, was the reason he got out of football.
Yeah, I mean, and like you just spoke on, I mean, listen, we're in a situation right now with college football, with the NCAA in general, that if the NCAA doesn't start to make changes, high quality changes, meaningful changes, I predicted this. I said, my goodness, how many years ago was this? It's got to be almost 8 years now. Because I've been saying it's been 7. So it's probably been about 8 years now. That 8 years ago, I made a prediction. And the prediction that I made stated within the next 5 to 10 years. So about 8 years ago, I said within the next 5 to 10 years, so that's where we are right now. I said the NCAA will either be drastically different. If they don't change the way they've been doing what they've been doing, they will either be drastically different looking, so they're either not look like they used to, if they exist at all. I said they will either look drastically different if they exist at all. So either they're going to be not what they've been, or they're not even going to exist. That was my prediction. I didn't want to be correct, but the NCAA has gone down that road. I suggest that you all go to my website, wakeupcalldt.com, read the article. I'll share the article that I have about my thoughts on the NCAA. I'll share it in our feeds this morning on YouTube, Facebook, and Podbean. But I implore you to go there and read it. Because where we stand right now, everything that I did not want to come true is on its way, if it hasn't happened already. The SEC and the Big Ten are running everything, so you got to play nice with them and do right with them, or else. Notre Dame is on its own island with a special set of rules that may be coming potentially in the college football playoff future that protects them, that essentially keeps a seat at the table at all times. The NCAA has no control. And during COVID, the president at the time of the NCAA, Mark Emmert, came out and said, and I may not get it exactly here, the quote that he had, but he had made the statement that he has no control over college football. He said that. I have no control. I cannot tell a team, well, a school, I cannot tell a school or a conference if they have to compete or they don't have to compete. I have no control over that. He was saying that during the pandemic. Like, I have no power to say you have to play or you don't have to play. So when he essentially was making this comment, he was telling the world, I'm the president of nothing. I get paid, but I don't control anything. When it comes to football, that's not on me. So who is it on? The college football playoff? Are they pulling the strings in the background? Is it the TV networks? Who is running college football becomes the question. And because there's seemingly nobody running college football, there's constant tampering. The transfer portal opens on January 2nd, then why are people taking visits now? The transfer portal opens on January 2nd, then why are people calling? Why am I having a conversation with a player saying, well, I got offered this, and I got offered this, and I got offered that? I don't even think the kid ever went in the portal. So how could he get offered those things if nobody was allowed to talk to him? So what are we policing? What are we doing? And when it comes to coaches, I agree with Papa Joe. Outside of a coach, now in the Sherrone Moore case, we're talking about legal stuff. We're talking about he was arrested. So when it comes to that, I can understand. Okay, you got a situation where you got to get somebody out because of something detrimental to the team in a legal sense. All right, fine. Drugs are involved, crimes involved, improper, how do I say this? Improper relationships are involved. Then I can understand you taking somebody out during the season. But if you say, hey, we're 4-5, we got 3 games to go, we're firing our coach. What does that do to your team? It leaves the entire team as a sitting duck. So do I approve of that? No. You know what else I don't approve of? I don't approve of calling a coach, interviewing a coach, talking with a coach, and hiring a coach while he's coaching somewhere else. Okay? There should have been no news about John Summerall going to Florida because Tulane is still playing football. There should be no news about Bob Chesney going to UCLA because James Madison's still playing football. There should be no news about Lane Kiffin for weeks before the season ended. Do you realize how insane that was? When's he going to make his decision? What's he going to do? He stated that after the Egg Bowl, so now we're not focusing on the games. We're not focusing on the weeks leading up to the Egg Bowl. We're not focusing on the Egg Bowl. We're only focusing on Lane Kiffin's decision for the last 3 weeks of the regular season. So how do we fix this, PJ? The NCAA gets some cojones. They get some of those, meatballs, and they go out there and they say, if you talk to a coach from another school who is currently employed, not an Ed Ogeron who's not employed right now, we're talking about you talk to a coach that is currently employed, currently under contract. If you're a school that does that, your first offense is a fine. Your second offense is a bigger fine. Your third offense is that we start taking scholarships for... Actually, you know what? No, let's do it like this. Let's make it real since people don't like to listen. So, in the case of Ole Miss and LSU with Lane Kiffin, let me just use this as an example. And LSU fans, don't get mad at me. It's only an example. Okay? The NCAA finds out that LSU is talking with Lane Kiffin while he's still employed at Ole Miss. First offense, $100,000. Second offense, $500,000 plus we take 5 scholarships. Third offense, over $1 million, let's say $1.5 million, and we take 10 scholarships. Because if you're not taking money and seats from these schools, they're not going to listen to you. The only way to sometimes cause somebody to do what they should do based on personal responsibility and accountability and having morals and values, when people don't have those and those are void from the conversation, in order to create a world where people have to have responsibility and accountability and morals and values, you take their money, you take their toys, you take their spots, you take their seats, and that changes it, okay? Now you can't go and get this recruit. Now you have less money to go and buy that recruit. These are the only ways to speak to it, PJ. So to take this entire giant, broad conversation of ridiculousness when it comes to tampering that nobody cares about anymore, I think the only way to deal with it is to have a tiered system where there's no slap on the wrist. There's no, oh, okay, don't do it again. No. First offense, we hit you. Second offense, we hit you harder. Third offense, we slam it down on you until you realize that we're not messing around. Take money, take recruits, or take money, take scholarships, and force these schools to have to be responsible because apparently they don't want to be.
Oh, it's true. Everything you said is true. I have a real problem with the bowl games count. Of course, I don't like it anyway.
Yeah.
I pull up my screen right now. There's a million bowl games already, and I don't know.
How many did you watch, PJ? You watched every single one.
I am going to watch the college football playoffs. Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What I want to focus on here to finish this conversation is the kids. The kids got it in their mind. First of all, they don't have to go to school. If they do go to school, it's only marginally for just to get credits to stay eligible. But if a kid goes in as a freshman and doesn't play, and the coach is tossed, now the kid is in a tough spot. Number one, he doesn't have a coach. Number two, his parents probably don't know what's happening at the school. Number three, his grades is going to suffer because he doesn't want to go to classes. And number four, is he's not playing now, so that makes it even more critical for him to leave at the end of his freshman year. And that's what's happening. If you don't play, you're leaving. I can tell you a lot of instances with the University of Florida right now. These schools got 85 to 100 kids. You're only going to play 50 of these kids. The other kids are trying to work their way into the lineups. And if you're sitting on a bump on a log, not even getting sweaty, you go take a shower, you go home, you don't want to do any homework because you're not playing football. Mm-hmm. So what happens? He's going to lose interest, lose control of his grades. He says, okay, I got to go. So he goes to the transfer portal, and the same thing happens all over again. How many of these kids that are going to be in the transfer portal now will play next year? Certainly not. I bet not even 20% of them are going to play. But they're going to a situation they think is better. They thought that coming to Florida with Billy Napier was a good deal. Didn't turn out that way. Yeah. This generational quarterback, who I've been touting for 2 years, DJ Langway, all of a sudden has given up. And I'll tell you why. When John Summerall came to the University of Florida after he got off the plane, he collected his whatever people that were there. He started talking to them. All of a sudden, the kids start coming in and they're starting to talk. From what I understand, the conversations from Coach Summerall to DJ Langway was, he didn't threaten him, but he challenged him. He says, DJ, you didn't have a good year. I know you got sacked a lot, but you threw 13 interceptions, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. And DJ, I mean, I didn't think this would happen, but he did. He got pissed off. And he says, you know what, Coach, you don't need me. I'm gone. Now, how many of these schools out there now are going to be looking for DJ Langway? There's going to be 25 at least. The ones with the best deal are going to get him. And that hurts me a lot because I thought the kid was genuine. But if the other coaches see this and they say, well, maybe the kid isn't hustling well, maybe the kid's making wrong decisions, maybe his arm's not as good as it's supposed to be, his shoulder still hurts, buddy-beep, buddy-bop, buddy-beep. Yeah. And yeah, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, who was the Gatorade Player of the Year 2 years ago, now he's gone. Now what does John Summerall do? He's got to hustle quarterbacks. Fortunately, we got a good one coming up. But that's just an example that it's a snowball effect. It's not going to get any better until someone puts some rules in. Laws. I don't care about rules, laws. You can't touch these coaches if they're still working. That's a good point. If you're working, if Lane Kiffin is still working at Mississippi, LSU should have laid off. Florida should have laid off. Yeah. Now, Lane Kiffin has a great opportunity, had a great opportunity for his team going forward in the playoff. Now he's going to be sitting watching. He's thinking, oh, my kid can do that. My kid used to do that, da, da, da. I don't think there's a good answer to it, Daniel.
Well, I mean, and that's what we're dealing with is, again, something that, like I said, I mean, you see the writing on the wall. Since 2020, around 2020, I've been talking about a lot of this stuff. The SEC going and forming its own. Then a couple of years later, I said, okay, the Big Ten made this move. Now I think the Big Ten's trying to go with the SEC. So there's that over there of what that can be. And you can see that playing out in the college football playoff that, they get the majority of the spots. So you have that. Then you have the coaches tampering. Then you have the tampering with student athletes. Then you have NIL and the transfer portal being used together as free agency as opposed to being used separately. You're not supposed to be able to make any money in NIL until you've already transferred, already signed, already shown up, and you're part of the roster. You can't use it to get them to come to you. You give it to them after they've agreed to come with you. They're supposed to come with you based on everything but money, right? I like the coach. I like the school. I'm going to get a good education. It's close to my home. It's far from my home. Whatever. But NIL was never meant to be used with the portal. It was meant to be used after the portal. And it's not happening that way. But again, NCAA, I told you 8 years ago, either change the way you do business, actually have laws. If you have them, enforce them, or you'll be gone. The NCAA is not functioning right now. What do they keep talking about? We need a commissioner of football. The College Sports Commission. You realize that's come up, the CSC, over the last year or so, PJ? So people talk about the CSC and what's going on. Then you have the four autonomy group conferences, and they got their meetings, and they got this, and they're over. So who's really, where is the NCAA? Because if we have a College Sports Commission, if we have these four conferences of the 10 FBS talking, well, are they talking to the other six, or are they just talking the four amongst themselves? Is Notre Dame at that table? And then we keep talking about this commissioner of football. So what's really going, and by the way, the college football playoff, they can expand after this season. From 2026 to 2031, they can look at having 16 teams, 24 teams. So does the NCAA have any say in that? See, what's happening here is everybody's doing what they want to do, and nobody's stopping anybody. And the reason why I think this is happening and it continues to go is because the NCAA they were picking and choosing who they were punishing in the past. Oh, we'll punish UConn, but we won't punish Kentucky. Oh, we'll take away Louisville's championship, but we won't take away UConn's championship. Oh, we're going to punish Syracuse, but we're not going to punish North Carolina. So what the NCAA has essentially done is they've said, we're going to enforce our rules sometimes. We're going to pick who we punish. We're going to turn and look away and let you take all the stuff over here before we turn back around. And then we're going to focus on certain places, and we're going to spend years digging into their books and find almost nothing and punish them. And then we're never going to look at the books over here, because if we look at those books, we know there's something wrong and we don't want to piss that person off. So if a coach can be recruited during the season, and a player can be recruited during the season, and NIL and money and things are being used to recruit outside of the windows of the transfer portal, what we're essentially saying this morning on Wake Up Call is there are no rules. And if there are, none of them are being enforced. And at the point that the NCAA or the College Football Playoff Committee or whoever, the College Sports Commission, decides to actually enforce these rules, are they going to be retroactive? Are they going to enforce them to everyone that's been breaking them for the last 2, 3, 4 years? How are we going to handle this? And Papa Joe, are we ready to hear that of the 136 FBS schools, 57 of them have broken rules, or 68 of them have broken rules, or 113 of 136 have broken rules? How many schools, if we really dig deep, have been tampering? How many schools have been shaking hands with players after the game saying, here's my phone number, why don't you call me and I can get you a million. I can get you 100,000 more than what you're getting there. Are we prepared for things that we don't want to hear? Are you prepared, folks, for there to be truth and validity to conversations that coaches and ADs have had with me? Of a coach last year was telling me, I'm practicing my team for a college football playoff game, and other schools are calling my players while we're practicing. The portal wasn't open. Those kids' names weren't in the portal. So what are we doing? Let's take a step aside for a fast break, and we'll come back inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios as Papa Joe and I tackle bowl season and discuss the conversation of, are there too many bowls? What do the bowls mean? And if entire institutions are sitting out of a bowl game, will that eventually kill the bowl season? I'd love to get Papa Joe's thoughts, because up until now, PJ said, there's not enough bowl games. Give me more. So we'll be back we'll be back right after this on Wake Up Call, Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Stay with us.
Oh my goodness.
Hi, this is
You got Mary's name on my screen.
Home of the Whole Frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge, and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item, available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily, and we bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon to be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeier family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeier family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. You know, we want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I mean, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. I mean, you can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, you know, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, you know, everyone in the world is going to sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, you know, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place, and I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Casanova, and we smoke a lot of our products. A delicious smoked turkey, we have barbecue ribs on Sundays, from a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing. You go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Cas location and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point, because you get a little something different at each one. You know, we understand how hard it is to, you know, work every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here, hanging out with us inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Papa Joe and I with plenty to talk about. And in this college football world, PJ, the bowl season. We know that there is many a bowl game. I'm going to just let you know really quick here. I'm going to run through this thing rapidly, but this is the bowl game. Okay, it's over a month, right? It starts, this year started on December 13th. It'll end on January 19th. We have the Cricket Celebration Bowl, the Bucked Up LA Bowl, the IS4S Salute to Veterans Bowl, the Staff DNA Cure Bowl, the 68 Ventures Bowl, Xbox Bowl, Myrtle Beach Bowl, Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl, and by the way, Myrtle Beach is presented by Engine, Famous Idaho Potato Bowl, Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans, New Orleans Bowl, Scooter's Coffee Frisco Bowl, Sheridan Hawaii Bowl, Game Above Sports Bowl, the Rate Bowl, the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl, the Go Bowling Military Bowl, the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, the Pop-Tarts Bowl, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, which is Papa Joe's favorite, the Isleta New Mexico Bowl, the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, the Kinder's Texas Bowl, the J-Lab Birmingham Bowl, the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl, the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl, the Valero Alamo Bowl, the ReliaQuest Bowl, the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Duke's Mayo Bowl, Trust and Will Holiday Bowl, and, of course, we have the College Football Playoff, which within it has the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, the Capital One Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential, the All-State Sugar Bowl, the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, and the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. PJ, tell me why there's not enough bowls.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I was going through it last night to get prepared for today, and I see Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. Are you kidding me? Now, let me tell you something about that.
Yeah.
When I had my package store in Quincy, Florida, the Gin and Juice is funny because gin, up with any other culture, the black culture, is called Naughty Head. So when they guys come rolling in, they'll say, "Give me a pint of Naughty Head and a jug of juice." That's what I'm surprised he didn't put Naughty Head up there, but it's for its money, of course, but I really don't have a problem with it. I talk like I do, but I really don't because it's for the kids.
Yeah.
I think the kids, if you're a 6-6 team and you're a 5-6 team with one game to play, and you knowing that if you win get a 6-6 record, you're going to go to a bowl, and I think that's exciting for the kids. But that's about it. I mean, certainly there can't be any more than this. I mean, they can't fit them.
Yeah. No, I mean, and when you look at all the bowl games that exist, it's been something around 84 spots. There's 136 teams. So if you look at that, and I've said this to people before, there's no level of sport in America or sport in America where over 60% get in the postseason, except for the FBS, which it's right around 62%. It was around 61.7, 62%. So when you look at that and you say more than half of the schools get in, and they're trying to find 5-7 teams. One year they ran out of 5-7, so they had to go to a 4-8 team.
Oh,
and
geez.
That's a team making a bowl game, which is insane. I do want to, so my response to it is, listen, the bowl system creates an opportunity. The bowl season creates an opportunity for a lot of great things to happen with student athletes, with schools. Money goes to the schools. They get to travel. They get extra practices. They get some young guys out there. They have the opportunity to look at their roster for the future. And, obviously it's good in promotion of when you're recruiting to say we made it to the postseason, we made it to a bowl game, we won a bowl game. It gets you to parts of the country you haven't been. It helps you play opponents that maybe you haven't been, which can also help you in recruiting. And, the kids typically get gift baskets to take home that have pretty cool stuff in them. So there's a lot to be said about everything that comes with going to a bowl game that people don't think about when they simply say, if it's not for a national championship, who cares? And so those are the things that are the positives about it. I want to go back to Michigan for a second while we have a second here. Michigan is to, quote unquote, leave no stone unturned when we're looking at an investigation. Michigan's investigation into its football program and wider athletic department could lead to findings of additional misconduct that might trigger more employment terminations, was said by interim university president Domenico Grasso, said this past Wednesday, December 17th. In a video statement, Grasso described the week since football coach Sharon Moore's firing as, quote, no doubt a challenging time for our university community, end quote. Michigan fired Moore on December 10th for engaging in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member discovered through a university investigation. Moore faces 3 criminal charges, including felony third-degree home invasion, for allegedly confronting the staff member at her residence after being fired. Michigan's investigation into Moore's conduct in the football program continues, and the university commissioned Chicago-based law firm Jenner and Block to conduct a larger review of the athletic department's culture, conduct, and procedure following a series of scandals. Grasso said, quote, "We will take whatever steps are necessary to ensure that conduct like this does not happen again. Make no mistake, we will leave no stone unturned, and any further action we take will be based on credible evidence and findings developed through a rigorous investigation. If the university learns of information through this investigation or otherwise that warrants a termination of any employee, we will act swiftly, just as we did in the case of Coach Moore." End quote. Grasso encouraged those who have information regarding misconduct to contact Jenner and Block. He said, quote, "Our focus is strictly on uncovering the facts. It is my job, my duty to ensure the integrity of this investigation." End quote. Grasso also briefed addressing the search for the football coach for the Michigan Wolverines. Athletic director Ward Manuel, who has led the department since 2016, has not publicly addressed the search. Biff Poggi, who I met when he was the head coach at Charlotte, he's a Michigan staff member, and he is serving as interim head coach for the upcoming Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, which is played in Orlando. It used to be the Camping World Bowl. And so that matchup is against Texas on December 31st. Grasso said, "We will hire," quote, "we will hire an individual who is of the highest moral character and who will serve as a role model and a respected leader for the entire football program, and who will, with dignity and integrity, be a fierce competitor." End quote. I want to thank ESPN and its work on the story and give credit to Adam Rittenberg, since a lot of people in the media don't give credit to people, so I want to give credit where credit is due. So thanks to Adam for that information that was up on ESPN. The reality of the fact, PJ, is Michigan was under investigation with Jim Harbaugh. Now they're investigating themselves under Sherrone Moore. The NCAA has investigated them over the last few years. So what does this say about Michigan?
The thing is that is a hurting gator. Unfortunately, they're not a gator, but they're a hurting gator. The kids are flying out of there. Talk about the transfer portal. They'll probably have 30 kids on that list that are going to go out. Now, on top of that, the kids that have already committed are leaving the program. And I don't know how you do that. If you sign a letter, of intent, and you're supposed to be on the team, and you call up your mama calls up the AD and says, "Listen, my son can't play for you with this kind of stuff going on. We want a release from his commitment," and they do that. So whoever's got the number 1 or number 5 or number 10 recruiting class in the country with a gone coach, is going to suffer from that. So, this is just a scenario, Daniel. It keeps going and going and going with the NCAA. I think they're incompetent. I think what they really need is they need a nationwide security force headed by a retired FBI agent and say, this is our bailiwick right here. This is what we do. The NCAA gives them a job. Go out and find what's happening, and then we'll take the right penalties for it. That's the only way I can see it, because the NCAA is so big, and they're leaning to two conferences, that they're just incompetent. I mean, we got 12 teams that are playing, 5 SEC and 3 Big Ten, at least 4 others like James Madison and Tulane, and so on and so on and so on. It's a never-ending battle. But I think if they had the couillons, like we say, they should come up with their own national security staff based in regions. If you have a problem at UCLA, you call up the regional director from our security force, and you take care of the problems. That's all I can see. I think the NCAA would probably love to get out from underneath that kind of thing. They don't mind making the laws and making the rules and serving justice, if that's what it's called. They just don't want to have to go into it like hiring a big law firm, go in and try to figure what happened at Michigan. If the NCAA had their own security staff on a national basis, based in regions, they could be able to solve these problems and come with a decisions.
Yeah. And I mean, I like that. Like you said, have them have a ruling body, have them have something that is checking and balancing, have them have, a legal group that can investigate, to not have to go and do all these things like, okay, well, so somebody has to report it. Who do they report it to? How long does that take? Right. Who investigates? How long does that take? What committees sit and decide? The Committee on Infractions, when do they meet? How often do they meet? What do they do? What does that take? Who's on that committee? Do they have any ties to anybody? Can they be coerced? Can they be bought? Then how long does it take to put down the punishment? And again, I've said this about the NCAA a million times. Why is there not, if you break Rule A, punishment 1? You break Rule B, punishment 2. You break Rule C. If you break Rule A and you're Kansas, then you have no punishment. If you break Rule A and you're Kentucky, then there's half of punishment 1. If you break Rule A and you're Syracuse, then there's punishment 2. There's punishment 4. There's no rhyme or reason to how the NCAA investigates, decides, punishes. There's no clear-cut thing. Like, if you tamper for a first offense, what's the punishment? Second offense, what's the punishment? If you find that a coach is sleeping with a student, what's the punishment? You can't say, well, it's the punishment for Michigan over here, but the punishment for Washington, for example, is going to be something different. It can't be something different. What happened with Bobby Petrino and do you judge, like when Bobby Petrino was found to have a relationship? Do you punish Arkansas or do you punish Bobby or do you punish both? Because then do you investigate and say, okay, people knew that Sharon Moore had this relationship. People knew that this was going on outside of his marriage. So then do you fire those people? Are you guilty by association? Are you guilty because you knew and you didn't report? Like, what are the rules? What are the checks and balances? I run a business. I have to spell everything out. I have to say, this is what I'm going to do. This is what you're going to do. This is what we have. When we play flag football, I have to have everybody sign a waiver that protects my company legally, protects the county, protects me. So there has to be a check and balance. There has to be information. This is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. You're coming into this on your own accord. If you come in with a pre-existing injury, not our problem. If you get an injury from playing in the Flag Football League, not our problem. It amazes me that the NCAA is a billion-dollar industry, but they can't seem to file paperwork neatly. They can't seem to figure out how to write things. They can't seem to figure out how to read them. They can't seem to figure out how to enforce them, and they can't seem to figure out how to be consistent. So I like your idea, PJ, of saying, you know what? Take people who know how to investigate, who know how to go after these things, and let's put them together, and let's have a department. Let's have a legal department that is going to go and fight these battles, okay? We're going to fight the criminal battles. We're going to fight the civil battles. Let's have somebody doing these things and actually enforcing these rules. Because the NCAA, you know what I keep hearing from people? They say the NCAA, if they're in court, they're going to settle because they don't know how to win court battles. Well, who the heck are the lawyers of the NCAA that they can't win anything? Who the heck are the lawyers of the NCAA that they couldn't stop NIL when there was no parameters around it? That they couldn't say to California, go kick rocks because we're not ready for this? Does the NCAA have any protection? Do they have a dome that is surrounding them that's going to prevent a missile, figuratively? Or is it open season? And I think what we're seeing is there's a lot of holes in the NCAA. There's a lot of holes in this dome of protection that a lot of missiles can get through. So the question becomes now, where do we go from here? How do we police this? Are we going to police it? Are we going to police it consistently? And okay, So Michigan got in trouble. The coach got fired because of this improper relationship. But PJ, there's over 300 Division I schools. Is this the only improper relationship in college? Are there any other coaches or staff members that may be engaging in extramarital affairs that maybe we should look into? Or is Sharon Moore the only guy that ever did it in the history of everything? So,
no, of course not.
Right. I mean, that's where we're at right now.
One thing I want to address before we move on is the athletic directors. I think what people are saying is, why doesn't the athletic director have a closer watch on what's happening at all his sports? Well, that's a big job for an athletic director. What he shouldn't have to do is to investigate and hire someone to investigate. The athletic director should just deal with sports and deal with the kids and deal with grade averages and things like that. Leave everything else to professionals. So NCAA, if you're listening to DJ, PJ, and DT this morning, come up with a national security force led by retired FBI guys. You can afford it, and let them do the deals.
Yeah, I mean, listen, hire somebody that's going to be able to investigate these things and find, I mean, if you are not winning in court, then keep yourself out of court, NCAA, and figure out how to do that. Figure out how to fortify your fortress before you lose it. With that being said, PJ and I are going to move on here into the world of our picks. And we're going to have some fun with this one. As PJ and I make our picks here this morning, we're going to be bringing you our bowl picks for the college football playoff. And we're also going to be bringing you some other bowl picks just because I want to. So bowl picks coming from PJ and DT here for the 2025-26 season. We're going to bring up our bowl picks here, and we're going to have an opportunity to give those to you where sports meets life here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Of course, we always appreciate you being here with us where sports meets life. So let's bring that in, PJ. We're going to do the college football playoff here first because I know that you definitely want to make your picks for that. So we're going to do our college football playoff picks, and then we're going to do our bowl picks outside of the college football playoff. So we have the first round of the college football playoff, PJ, and that first round is going to give us 4 games. In the first round, which officially started last season that I got to be a part of, we had the opportunity of seeing an extra home game for 4 teams in the nation in the FBS. So I go to you and I ask you the question. On Friday, December 19th, there's only one game. It is a rematch. It is between 2 teams in the SEC. Number 8, Oklahoma. Number 9, Alabama. And Alabama lost to Oklahoma in the regular season by just a few points, 1 possession. Or as Notre Dame would call it, good enough. So as we take a look at this, PJ, Alabama, Oklahoma, who you got?
This is a flip game. This is a tough one. I don't like to see the 2 SEC teams playing each other, but I understand it. Mateen for Oklahoma is now pretty well 100% healthy. Before when they met, he was not healthy, and Alabama just couldn't get it done. Alabama needs to do a lot more on offense, and because it's playing at Oklahoma and Mateen is healthy, I think Oklahoma takes this game.
Yeah, PJ, I mean, I want to say that Oklahoma is going to get a challenge from Alabama, and they might. And Alabama obviously had a better season than they had last year. But I got to go with Oklahoma in this one because I just feel like Alabama looked terrible against Georgia. And they had beaten Georgia earlier on in the season. It's Georgia's only loss of the season. Keep in mind, folks, Georgia has not lost to a team this season that they haven't beaten. They went 1-1 with Alabama, and they beat everybody else. So why people think that, why everybody's talking about Indiana and Ohio State, Georgia's like, go ahead, keep talking. Keep talking about them. Don't talk about us. Just let us kind of run through this thing. So Alabama, Oklahoma, I definitely think that, obviously last year all the home teams won. I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen this year with some of these matchups, but I think Oklahoma is going to be too much. I agree with you. Let's go to Saturday, December 20th. There are 3 games on in the first round. Noon on ABC and ESPN, we have number 10 Miami at number 7 Texas A&M. At 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT, we have number 11 Tulane, who has your John Summerall until he go Gators for real. At number 6 Ole Miss, the Lane train's pulled out of that station. He's not there anymore. And then we have at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT, we have James Madison, not a person, a school, going up, the number 12 seed going up against number 5 Oregon in Eugene, Oregon, which is where people train and try to qualify for the Olympics, if people didn't know that. So, PJ, let's get it done here. Miami at Texas A&M. What do you got? This is the battle of the 2 teams that beat Notre Dame.
That's right. That's right. This probably is another game that is very, very close. But I feel that Texas A&M grew up an awful lot at the end of the year. They beat some really good teams, and they got a kid that just I think he's a sophomore, can run and pass with anyone in the country. I think Texas A&M is a little bit too much for Miami right now.
Well, PJ going with Texas A&M, a team that had to come back from down 27 points to South Carolina, who did not make it in the higher ups, the upper echelon of the SEC. Now, they did play spoiler last year and potentially tried to play spoiler this year with Texas A&M, and it didn't work. I'm going to play spoiler and tell you it's all about the U in this one. Miami,
oh, my goodness.
Miami has heard everyone talk about Notre Dame, and they shouldn't be in over Notre Dame. And how they get in over... Everyone's been talking about the team that they beat head-to-head. They're not talking about Miami, which put a deeper chip on Miami's shoulder, Mario Cristobal. They're going into Texas, and they're going to tell you what's up. The Miami Hurricanes are going to cause a storm in Texas, and they're going to run out of there with a victory that's going to set them up against OHIO in the quarterfinals of the college football playoff. Give me the first team to win a game on the road in the first round of the college football playoff. Miami Hurricanes making history over Texas A&M. Tulane and Ole Miss, the battle of the two teams that are not going to have the same coach next season, but Tulane's coach stayed. Lane, well, he took off. And some people say it was him. Some people say it was them. They told him to leave. He wanted to stay. Then they said, no, that's not the story. So we don't know. Did Lane leave or was he told to leave? But either way, the Lane train is gone. So what happens with Ole Miss, PJ? Can they fend off Tulane, who they beat in the regular season? Or does Tulane take advantage of the fact that they have their coach and Ole Miss doesn't?
Well, this is the game that people will be talking about. Probably it won't ever be the same. This situation probably will never be repeated when two teams don't have their head coaches gone, except for Summerall's going to go for the bowl game. That's not quite true about the news about Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. His players definitely wanted him to coach this season here. Definitely. I don't know where they're talking from, but that's not what we hear down here. But anyway, frankly, I'm being greedy here. I want Ole Miss to beat Tulane because I want John Summerall to go back to Florida and start putting his staff together and start recruiting some kids that play football for Florida. I wish him luck, but I think Ole Miss's offense is just too much, and I think Ole Miss probably wins this game rather handily, Daniel.
PJ going with ole, Mr. Ole Miss without the Lane train. I'm saying there's a reason why Summerall stayed. There's a reason why he's finishing the job. I got Tulane saying, you know what? We ain't got nothing to lose. We got one more ride with our coach, and we don't want to be done with it. Do I think that this could go Ole Miss's side? Absolutely. Am I picking Tulane and giving an opportunity and saying, let's make this a more interesting game and they can put a bigger fight in than they put in the regular season. Yeah, I think it can be a better game here. Ole Miss has tremendous players. They're playing at home, but they don't have their coach. How much is this going to affect them? We shall see. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And the last game that John Summerall ever coaches at Tulane, I end up being wrong in it. I'm willing to die on that mountain because I respect the fact that he stayed with his team and he saw them all the way through. And I think that they're going to have fun and have one more ride before they're all done here. I got Tulane winning this game. I'm picking Tulane. James Madison and Oregon. This is a 5-12 matchup. In the NCAA tournament, typically the number 12 does well. Does James Madison have any chance against Oregon, PJ?
No. Congratulations to James Madison for squeaking into this playoff. I don't think they're deservedly so, but because of the way it was set up, they earned it. So they're going to be playing. They're not going to. They're going to see what the difference is here when you have a team like Oregon, who is in the upper echelon of college football. They have speed and power. This is a different kind of athlete James Madison will face, and I think this will be a laugher, Daniel.
Yeah, I think Oregon had an easy season, and I argued that the conversation of Notre Dame getting in should be Notre Dame versus Oregon, Notre Dame versus Ole Miss in the conversation of who should get in over the other one, more than it should have been Notre Dame versus Miami. I got Oregon in this game. I think they're going to be able to win this one, but Oregon has not really had that tough of a season thus far. So we'll see if James Madison creates a challenge for him, but I also have the Oregon Ducks sending themselves into the quarterfinals. PJ, next one that we got here, I gotta ask you these because if for nothing else, it makes me happy. So the Myrtle Beach Bowl presented by Engine, Kennesaw State, Western Michigan, the winners of Conference USA versus the winner of the MAC. Who do you have for Kennesaw State and Western Michigan?
Kennesaw State and Western Michigan?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had football teams, for crying out loud. I would say.
Oh, PJ.
Kennesaw State and Western. That's a good one. I even got to look that up. No, I'm just going to say with the Central Michigan because they should have better athletes in Michigan than Kennesaw State. I don't even know where Kennesaw State is.
Well, Kennesaw State, PJ. PJ going with Western Michigan. I am going to be going with Kennesaw State. So I got Kennesaw State winning this. The Owls, there are 4 teams that have an owl as their mascot in the FBS. 3 of those 4 are in the American. Kennesaw State's in Conference USA. I'm going with Kennesaw State. Memphis versus NC State in the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. What do you have for this, PJ? The Memphis coach is now the Arkansas coach. The NC State coach, Dave Doran, he's been there for a minute, and he's going to continue on here. So what do you got?
I like NC State in this game.
Yeah, NC State. I mean, Memphis, again, when Memphis doesn't have – when you don't have your head coach, I think it does play a role. That's why I got Tulane having a shot in their game against Ole Miss. I got NC State in this one. Shout out to Dave Doran and the incredible job that he does. This makes me so happy that I get to ask PJ these two. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl, Washington State, Utah State.
My goodness, Daniel. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Washington State and Utah State.
Who you
My
got?
goodness. I'm sure both of these teams have 6-6 records or even 5-7. Daniel, I haven't a clue. But they're playing in Idaho, so I guess I'd like Utah State.
Yeah, so PJ's going with Utah State. I'm also going to go with Utah State, USU. I think both of these teams are going to be in the same conference next year when the Pac returns and has literally every team in their conference with the last name State. PJ, this is the best bowl game name that I think I have ever requested you to give me a pick for. Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans. Toledo, Louisville.
Is Boca Raton Bowl
Of
of
Beans.
Beans. Very, very, very catchy. Very catchy. These people must pay an awful lot of money to have this. I wouldn't be surprised that if Bush's is paying these bowl $500,000 just to have someone say Bush's Boca Raton bowl of beans. That's pretty catchy. To get to the game, I think Louisville wins this easy.
Yeah, Toledo doesn't have their coach anymore, so another one that doesn't have a coach before the end of the season, another thing we disagree with. I'm going with Louisville to win this matchup. So PJ and I are going to jump right into the NFL. For those of you waiting for Malachi James, he'll be coming up in just a moment here where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So let's jump right into our NFL picks as we take a look at how things are going in the NFL. PJ and I are going to clear the board and we're going to shift it over into the NFL so that we can make our selections here for you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. So we'll clear the board and we will make those NFL picks for Week 16 of the NFL season. Getting into that for you here, we'll take a look at how these teams look inside of the NFL. And so I'm going to stay with you here. Great Lakes Honda City Studios. We thank you for being here where sports truly meets that thing called life. Cannot thank you enough for being a part of the show here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So let's get into NFL Week 16 with Papa Joe. And so, PJ, I will defer to you. This game on Thursday night tonight is one of the biggest games that we will see played this entire NFL 2025-26 season. The reason why is that both of these teams are playing for the right to not only go to the postseason, but to win their division of the NFC West. So I send to you my call of the two 11-3 teams. Who wins? The Los Angeles Rams or the Seattle Seahawks, with a game being played in Seattle?
Right. I will be watching this game too. This is going to be a heck of a team. I think the Rams with Matthew Stafford have just a little bit too much.
Yeah, PJ going with Matty Stafford. Currently, the Rams are not just number one in the NFC West, they're number one overall. I'm also going with the Rams, who were able to hold off Detroit in the Matt Stafford Bowl this past week. The next one that we have up here will take us to Philadelphia at Washington. There's two games being played on Saturday this week, and I don't know why they're doing this because the college football playoff has 3 games on Saturday. So why the NFL wants to combat that and do it around they're not at exactly the same time. They start a little bit after, but they're still going to be on when the college football playoff is on. Philadelphia at Washington. PJ, what do you got?
Commander's not going to have their quarterback that we just heard. Now he's out for the rest of the year, Daniels. Jalen Hurts, all he does is win. I don't care what it looks like. I think they're an excellent team. I think their defense is a stalwart. I think that Hurts does enough to win just about every week. If the other people don't like it, too bad. Don't bet against them.
Yeah, PJ going with Philadelphia. Philadelphia trying to fend off the Cowboys, who are actually still alive in the postseason right now. Washington and the New York Giants are not. I'm going with Philadelphia to get the win. Green Bay at Chi-Town. Green Bay is right behind Chicago. Green Bay is 9-4-1. Chicago's 10-4. What do you got?
Well, I got to eat crow on this one a little bit because I didn't think that Caleb Williams of the Bears would be that good of a quarterback. Now, I guess that Johnson coming from Detroit has really made an impact on this kid. This kid looks confident. He feels confident. He's got a good arm. He moves. Jordan Love, of course, is just the same thing on the other side of the ball. But Chicago, I gotta go with Chicago, Daniel. I'm going to jump on your bandwagon.
All right, yeah. Chicago, I said that Caleb Williams would have the opposite of a sophomore slump, and that he has. The team is 10-4, and they are leading the NFC South, and I'm going to stick with Chi-Town to win the nighttime. Well, they're both at night, but this one's the later game for the Saturday matchups. I got Chicago winning their game. Let's go to Sunday, PJ. Buffalo at Cleveland. What do you got?
Buffalo and Cleveland. Buffalo should roll. Boy, they played a hell of a game last week. I thought they were down. They were down 21-0.
Yep.
And of course, with Josh Allen, I mean, frankly, I know Matt Stafford's having a hell of a year. So is Trevor Lawrence and But Josh Allen does stuff that we don't see in a football team too often. Lamar Daniels did it a couple of years ago, but Josh Allen is just a force. He refuses to lose. He refuses to go down. I don't know too many quarterbacks that can sprint 45 yards to a touchdown and leave his defensive back in his wake. He's a phenomenal player, and this is just his game.
Yeah, I mean, coming back from 21-0 on the road at New England, they could not afford to lose to New England twice this season, with both teams fighting to get into the postseason. I got Buffalo beating Cleveland. Cleveland has been a haphazard team for many years. Some would say that they came back in '99, but they never truly came back. Let's take a look at the Los Angeles Chargers at the Dallas Cowboys. The Chargers are alive. Kansas City's gone. Kansas City will not make the postseason. The Chargers are trying to fight the Broncos. The Cowboys are trying to fight for their last-ditch effort to get in. Who wins down in Arlington, Texas?
I don't like Dallas, and I say this every year, every time, even when we're on the air. I just don't like the way Jerry Jones does business over there. I think he hurts his players. I think he got too big of an ego for me to actually consider him to be a first-flight general manager or president of football. That's just my opinion. Because of that, I like the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one as well. The Chargers have been fantastic. Their tight end is a former Syracuse player, Arondé Gadsden II. I told y'all that I had a feeling when he went to that team, I actually drafted him in fantasy as my backup tight end because, in my opinion, I was like, hey, there's nobody for the Chargers right now at tight end that's the dominant guy. He could absolutely take over. He's had a fantastic rookie season, and he should be honored for it. I hope that he finds himself in the playoffs, and I hope he wins a bunch of games in those playoffs and has himself an incredible rest of his rookie season. Kansas City at Tennessee. Believe it or not, neither one of these teams is in the playoffs this year.
I think Kansas City bounces back just to save face on this one. Tennessee is awful. I don't know. Cam Ward came out with some information saying that he wants to be involved in picking the new coach for his team. Who says he's going to be the starting quarterback next year, for Christ's sake?
Yeah.
No. Kansas City.
I don't disagree with you, PJ, that, I mean, what's to say Cam Ward's going to be the guy? They've tried with 3 different quarterbacks. It hasn't worked out. I'm going with Kansas City as well because if they lose to Tennessee, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Tennessee's awful. They're bad. They're very, very bad. What did they do? They were good. They fired Mike Vrabel. How did that work out, guys? How did it work out to get rid of Mike Vrabel, who in his first season with New England is fighting to be the number 1 seed in the entire AFC of 16 franchises in the NFL? How did it work out, Tennessee, to fire a guy who can get you to 9 wins when you can't get to 5? So let's go to the next one here. Cincinnati at Miami.
Cincinnati, Miami. Joe Burrow is pissed. People are talking junk about him. He doesn't try. He's doing this. He's too selfish. Joe Burrow's a gamer. Joe Burrow wants to win. He's got the offense around him, but he's just not quick enough yet. I think he's still a little hesitant, but he's got enough talent to win any game. I like him this game.
PJ going with Cincinnati. This is another thing I predicted. Don't be surprised if at some point during the season, a backup quarterback who played at Texas last year, who had ice water in his veins to come back and beat Arizona State in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl quarterfinal game, and now Tua has been sat, which I'm not ever happy about somebody getting sat, but Tua gets sat for this guy that I predicted could see himself out there on the field this year, and that is none other than Quinn Ewers. So he's getting out there. Quinn Ewers doing his thing. Miami is at home, and you know what? I'm giving it up to you and the crew. I got Quinn Ewers winning this game for Miami. That's right. I'm going Miami in college and pro this week. How about this one, PJ? The New York Jets at the New Orleans Saints. I said on yesterday's show in fantasy football coverage that PJ would call this an awful game, probably the worst game of the week.
Who's playing again?
The Jets and the Saints.
The Swamp Kid looked pretty good for Kansas City. I saw some highlights of him. Big, tall, strong kid. I think maybe he's got a future there. I sort of like New Orleans in this game.
Yeah. So oh man, this is a terrible game. I'm sounding like PJ now. This is a terrible game. So I'm going to go with New Orleans because they're at home. And I know Tyler Shuck's done some good things. I actually got to interview him last year when he was finishing up his college career at Louisville. So I'll go with New Orleans. Minnesota at the New York Giants. JJ's playing, Jackson Dart's playing, but neither one of them are playing for the playoffs because they're both out.
Jackson Dart is not listening to the people around him. They've asked him to, if he's running, to go down. Don't run as much. I don't like running quarterbacks. Jackson needs to listen. But J.J. McCarthy came up with a game of his life last week, and I think he's legitimate. I think I'd like Minnesota in this game.
PJ going with Minnesota. I'm going to go with Minnesota as well. I just feel like they're a little bit better. I like what Jackson Dart's doing in fantasy. In reality, the team just hasn't been winning. So I'm going to go with Minnesota. Tampa Bay at Carolina. Believe it or not, PJ, these two teams are fighting for first place in their division. They're both 7-7. They will play each other 2 times in the last 3 weeks to decide who's going to make the playoffs. When the NFC West has 3 teams with 10 wins or more, the NFC South is trying to find one team that can get above 500. What do you got, Tampa and Carolina?
I think I like Tampa in this game.
Yeah, PJ going with Tampa with them at Carolina. I'm going to go with Tampa as well. They finally got a healthy receiving core, so I'm going to go with Tampa Bay to get the victory here. And for those of you that are waiting for Malachi James to come on to the show, he'll be coming on in just a few moments. PJ and I had to get through our picks here, so he will be in the queue in just a second. Jacksonville at Denver, arguably the 2 best defenses in the country facing off.
This is Jaguars. I think are going to wake up this week. They've been an excellent team so far, but Denver with Sean Payton is showing the way, and they're playing at Denver. Who knows what the weather's going to be like over there? Denver.
PJ going with Denver. I got to go with the Broncos too because they're at home. Atlanta at Arizona, the battle of the nest. Neither one of these teams is making the playoffs, PJ, but Kirk Cousins ran a really nice offense last week. So what do you got for Atlanta at Arizona? I know you're going to be watching this one.
I like Kurt in this game.
Yeah, so going with Atlanta. I'm also going with Hotlanta in this one too. Arizona, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't know, and I'm kind of surprised that they've continued to go down this road. I don't know how long it's going to be the Kyler Murray offense. Pittsburgh at Detroit. I told you that Pittsburgh was going to be a playoff team in Aaron Rodgers' first year with the Steelers. They're in first place right now, girl. And Detroit is trying to fight for their lives at 8-6. What do you got, PJ?
I think Detroit's just a little bit too tough here.
PJ going with Detroit Rock City. Man, I don't know where to go on this. I'm going to say Detroit because they're at home. I'll agree with you on this, but I don't know. Detroit's been a letdown so far this season. They got to wake up. Las Vegas Raiders going up against the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans are on a roll, PJ. What do you got?
They're going to keep rolling, too.
PJ got the rolling Texans. I got the Texans rolling as well. Sunday Night Football. This game used to mean something when it came to the playoffs. Now it's one team that's definitely in and another team that's trying to get in. New England at Baltimore. Sunday Night Football, PJ. What do you got?
I was looking at this game earlier, and I've changed my mind. I know the Patriots are doing well. Mike Vrabel deserves all the credit in the world. He's a top-flight guy. He's a player's coach. But for some reason, this game being in Baltimore, I think Lamar Jackson will look at this game and say, listen, I didn't do well the last time we played these guys. So I think I'm going to pick it up a notch. I think Lamar Jackson puts his team on his back for this game.
All right. Going with Baltimore against New England. PJ going with the Ravens. They're not out of it, but I'm going with New England in this matchup to get the victory here. I also said that Drake May, don't be surprised if he has a good second season, and he definitely has. And I think it's got something to do with having Mike Vrabel in the town once again.
Right.
San Francisco at Indianapolis. Phillip Rivers is 57 years old, and he almost beat the Seahawks in Seattle. That man is a grandfather So when Granddaddy beats you, you know what's up. You got Brock Purdy and San Fran coming into Indianapolis, and Phillip Rivers is sitting there like my man Kevin Costner does on Yellowstone. He's got a cigar, he's got a cowboy hat on, and he said, "Bring it, baby. What you got?" So what do you got, PJ?
Oh, boy. I'm glad that the game that I was watching flipped over to the last 5 minutes of Baltimore's game last week. The Colts game last week. Phillip Rivers looks like he's got a little pot belly. I don't. This is not right. The Colts, I'm sure, are firing some blanks out there, but the 49ers should win this game. It'll be a hoot to watch of the whole game, though.
PJ going with the Niners. I don't care if I'm wrong on this one. Okay, Christmas come early. Give me Indy in this one to win this game.
All right.
I'm going with Indianapolis to get the victory. By the way, Mac Jones, to me, did a heck of a job this year. I like Brock Purdy, but Mac Jones out here killing it for San Francisco when he's had to step in like a Phillip Rivers. So God bless to that. I know he's a lot younger, but listen, it doesn't matter how old you are. It matters how you go out there and play the dang game. So with that being said, Papa Joe, let's bring him up on the screen one more time so you can see his mug. PJ, we appreciate you. We love you. And I cannot wait to hear your in-depth analysis to a T about the overall thoughts on every single bowl game, but none more than I should say, the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans. I cannot wait.
You're a hoot, buddy. You're
PJ
a hoot.
and I are going to be off next week because it's Christmas, but we will talk to you after that. So PJ, I send you an MT, my love, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
See you. That coming from Papa Joe here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We're going to take a quick step aside. Malachi James going to be joining us in just a moment. Thank you to everybody who's been patient. I had to make sure that PJ and I got to everything that we had promised you, so I appreciate your patience here this morning as Malachi James will be joining me in just a moment here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, right after this fast break.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to Buffalo, they're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing, and so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and then those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community community any way we can. I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. It's a wonderful opportunity this morning that I have to be here picture in picture with Malachi James. I know that y'all have been patient. Malachi, I apologize for making you have to wait there in the queue for a second as we finished up our picks, but happy to have Malachi James here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here with you Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, typically past 11 a.m. We'll go past 11 today. And you see that NCAA logo because my guy on January 2nd is jumping into the transfer portal. Malachi, a New Jersey running back here with us, going from Syracuse into the transfer portal with 3 years of eligibility. I consider him family. So this is one I've been very, very patiently impatient about having him on the show. Malachi, how are we doing?
I'm good this morning. I'm good this fine morning. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well. I'm happy to have you here. Are you back home in Jersey?
Yes, sir. Back home in Jersey. I came home last Tuesday, so I've just been in rehab ever since.
Yeah, and just bring me into that because, I can't stand, and you and I talk about this all the time, but I can't stand when people speak for people. And, so when they talk about, is he injured? Is he not injured? What's going on? Why is he not out there? Let everybody know what's gone. I mean, we can kind of go through the journey of it, of your injuries and what you've dealt with over the years. For those that don't know, tell us what's actually been happening and the injuries you've actually been dealing with this season, because I'm a little tired of people speaking for you.
Okay, so for everybody out there, I've been hurt since after the UConn game. I did something to my muscle in my back to the point where it's really painful to run. I can't even jog on it. It's like every single time I try to jog or run on it, it's like I start limping. So that's what's been happening. I've been trying to rehab it with the trainers over at my old school, but it just wasn't working. I was just trying to get back on the field when the whole time people thought that I was faking my injury. I'm just looking like, if I'm on the field, I'm limping. How am I faking my injury? That doesn't make any sense to me, but just had to clear that up, So
yeah, and now that and I think it's important for schools to know that are looking at you that you finally got to someone who is helpful. You weren't really getting a lot of answers in Syracuse, and so just bring me through that process, because my little sister, Franny, she went through a process herself too, where she just didn't have somebody really listening, uncovering what was going on, and then once they figured out what it was, here she is back playing D1 lacrosse. So what can you say about going through this journey and the rehabbing you have now of somebody that actually listened to what was going on with your body?
It's really crazy because I want to say after the UNC game, a Syracuse fan reached out to my dad and he recommended this guy named Troy Andrews, which is funny because Troy's my dad's name too. I was like, okay, that's a little ironic, but so I want to say after the UNC game, we went right to his office around 11 a.m. and it's he gave me some exercises and I was just telling myself, I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit better already. I'm not really feeling any pain. And what he was saying was that the problem wasn't my back. He said I have tight hip flexors and so it's I have tight quads. So it's just having tight quads and a tight hip flexor, with all the ground and pound I was doing as a running back, it's only going to hurt my back for the long run.
Yeah. So what can they do for that now with you having, your quads being so tight and that affecting your back? What can they do to make sure that you're on the right regimen to get back to 100%?
Basically, just have to keep doing the exercise that I've been prescribed. Just keep doing those daily. It's just stay off it, because I feel that's another part of why I got hurt, because I was just going and going and going ever since January, and I never really got the proper rest that I needed.
For you, it's important as you step forward, like you said. I mean, more than anything else, for you to be healthy, right? I mean, that's the most important thing. I think when some people talk about athletes, they don't think about the fact that you're human beings. They just think like, oh, well, that guy's supposed to do this, this, and that. Why is he not? And why, the expectation that you're essentially a robot. So what do you want to say as you rehab, as you get better, as you heal up? What do you want to say to people that didn't truly get to see you at Syracuse? What do you bring to the table? What do you do? What do you want a college coach to know about you?
Well, for one, academics comes first. I feel like I'm a smart kid and I take my academics very seriously. But when it comes to like the field, like number one, I'm a home run threat. I'm a home run threat at any given place, any given time, like wherever on the field. Like I don't know if you saw it or not, but we had a scrimmage on August 16th to 17th, and I scored a 99-yard touchdown. And I mean, but like who wouldn't want that on their team, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, I have great hands. I'm a hard runner. I'm a tough runner. So yeah, I feel like that's what I bring to the table.
And what can you say to a college coach right now as far as that rehabbing? Because they want to know that you're healthy, ready to go, coming into, spring ball and whatnot. So what can you say about being 100% and just what you can give to a team?
I'm going to keep this short and simple. If I was talking to a college coach right now, I'd simply tell him, I'll be ready by spring ball. Trust him to lead that. And I'm going to show people why, like he wasn't faking his injury this whole time. Like it was a mistake to, not have me on the team. So I'm just playing with a big old chip on my shoulder.
And there's this thing that we deal with, Malachi, and I think you know this all too well. I think we both do. Is everybody thinks everyone that has a social media handle nowadays thinks they're a reporter, and they think they have the news.
Literally,
right? And so when I put up that you were transferring, and when I put up that you were coming on the show, there was people immediately insinuating, going, "Oh, well, he's just leaving for the money like everybody else." And I said, he is not leaving for the money. So would you like to clarify?
my decision to enter the portal was far from money. Like I'm not even that type of person to ask for more money. Like I'm the type of person to just grind for more money, not just go to another man's office and just ask for more money when I haven't done anything. So I was just simply waiting my turn.
And you decide to transfer. You didn't want to leave Syracuse. I want to go back and actually read what you said, because these are your words from you. So when you made the decision, this is what Malachi James had to say about his decision. I'm going to read off the exact words. It saddens me to share that I'll be entering the transfer portal when it opens on January 2nd with 3 years of eligibility remaining. I want to be clear. I hope to stay at Syracuse, but circumstances beyond my control make it best for me both short-term and long-term to begin a new chapter elsewhere. Thank you, Orange Nation, for embracing me and my family over the past 18 months. Your passion is unmatched. To my teammates, it was an honor to go to work with you every day. To my coaches and support staff, Coach Nixon, Coach Thomas, Coach Red, Coach Brumfield, Coach Johnson, Coach Cole, Coach Maddox, Coach Emark, and others, thank you for helping me grow as a player and as a man. This is so weird that I'm reading this because I never thought I'd see this in my life, but special thanks to Dan Tortora and Isaac Alford for giving me a platform and a voice. To my family, thank you for your unwavering love, support, and for being there every home and road game. North Star out. Sincerely, Malachi James. So I want to go to the first part here. When you started it off by saying, it saddens me to share, why did you use those words?
A whole lot of emotion, and it was my first team in college, and I thought I was going to stay here for all 4 years, but obviously had other plans, and plus, like, I made so many relationships. I made so many relationships, and it was to the point where, like, dang, like, I'm going to miss the guys, but I got to do what's best for me, The
second thing that you said, I want to be clear. I hope to stay at Syracuse, but circumstances beyond my control make it best for me, both short-term and long-term. Why did you make sure you use short-term and long-term? And why did you say, I want to be clear? Why did you feel like you had to clear the air?
Well, for one, I had cleared the air because most people were going to think that, oh, he left for money, this and the third, which I stated, which we talked about before. That's definitely not the case. Mm-hmm. And when I said short and long term, I just felt like with my injury, I just felt like the rehab that I was doing at the school, it just wasn't helping me. And like, I feel like it was like making it worse more than it was making it better. So that's when I had to have a talk with the boss man and just tell him how I felt, and feeling was neutral, so just had to up and leave, you know?
And when you say you had a conversation, you had to talk with the boss man, did you sit down with Fran Brown man to man? Because I know he said in the past, if someone's going to leave, come and tell me, don't let me find out. So did you sit down with him?
Yeah, I told him he was the first person I knew.
So when you sat down with him, how did that go? Was it short and sweet? Did you kind of just say, hey, want to talk to you for a few minutes? Like, bring me into that meeting space.
Um, well, I already knew. Well, walking into the meeting, I already knew what was going to happen. So it was just short and sweet. It was not, I didn't want to like overemphasize any words, so I just kept it short and sweet. Then, just left. The conversation probably took like maybe 2, 3 minutes, 3 minutes at maximum. So that's all it was.
How was his response?
Um, it was neutral. It was neutral. It was just like I'm not surprised because at the end of the day, like I feel like you can ball out somewhere else, you know? Because I feel like you're a great football player, a great track athlete, but Syracuse isn't for everybody.
I know that people kind of lost your message when you put this post out because they looked at the list of coaches and saw that Coach Brown wasn't one of the coaches thanked. So, of course, people want to go to the negative. What do you want to say in that effect of like why you chose to name the coaches you named?
Because I felt like everything I went through, like my whole entire time at Syracuse, like they always had my back. Like they were always checking on me constantly, you know, and especially like at the beginning of the year, like I was at rock bottom. Like we talked about that before, when you interviewed me during fall camp. Like I was at rock bottom, you know, like felt like I didn't really have anybody, but those were the people in particular like who actually like had my back or just make sure I was good no matter what day it was, no matter what time of the day it was, they always made sure I was good.
Steve Angeli gets hurt. Did that just kind of kill the culture? Did it do something to the environment? I'd love to get your thoughts on that because 3-1 with him, 0-8 without him. Yes, he was physically there, but he wasn't playing. Fran talked about how he built a relationship with everyone individually. So I guess the question is, did he build a relationship with you? Speaking of Steve Angeli, and when his injury happened, did you see it kind of like the air just kind of come out of the entire program?
Oh yeah, me and Steve definitely have a relationship. I'm definitely gonna miss my guy. I know he's gonna ball out next year, but yeah, he definitely builds a relationship with everybody. And I remember when he first came on a visit here, like I introduced myself saying like, "Oh, hi, I'm Malachi James. Like, what's your name? Where are you from?" And he was just really like real cool about him. And he just had a mindset to just work. Like he didn't care what anybody else said. Like he kept his head down in his work, which is one thing I always love about him. And to your next question, oh yeah, like when Steve got hurt, it just felt like life just got sucked out of the team. Like I'm not gonna say like we wanted to quit, but it was like okay, like this is like Common Core Part Two, and now that we lost 10 for the year, it's like okay, like who are we gonna turn to, and then when Ricky played those couple games, he did the best of his ability, but he couldn't get the job done. So I guess the coaches looked in another direction, thinking that it will be better. But all in all, I'd just say like for next year for them, they just got to get closer. That's it, because been a quarterback, having the starting quarterback go down, and not not being able to win a single game, that means that the team chemistry wasn't strong enough, and they just have to hang around each other more and just stick together as a team whenever things go bad. That's all I can really say on it.
Who are you going to miss the most? Because I know you talked about you loved going to work with your teammates every day. So who are some of those really deep-rooted relationships that are not going to change? They're not going to go away. You're going to stay friends. But who are you going to miss going to work with?
I'm gonna miss Will Nixon for sure. Like that's like my big brother right there. Like I would definitely miss Will Nixon. Like I said, like the coach that had my back when I was going through my tough time. Like he had my back too. I'm also miss a guy Davion Kerr twins, and I miss my guy Ed McDaniels, who's also entering the portal too. So wishing best of luck to all of those guys.
Yeah, and you talk about entering the portal. A lot of guys have been entering the portal. We just saw that Luke Carney has decided to enter. He has 4 years of eligibility. It's like he never came to Syracuse. He gets the experience and the wisdom and the knowledge, but he doesn't have to pay the price of losing a season. So what are your thoughts on who's entered the portal? And I guess your immediate thought on Luke Carney, because he was the next in command, and some people thought he should have been second based on what they had beyond Steve Angeli. So your take on the guys that are jumping into the portal, and I guess your take on Luke Carney, because now he's got 4 years to go elsewhere, and they didn't really let him show himself at Syracuse, in my opinion.
I agree on that statement, but one thing I will say, everybody under the portal, I'm not surprised. Honestly, I'm not surprised because I feel like the guys that are leaving, they didn't get a fair shot, and you hear talks around the locker room like, okay, like he might believe this and the third, but I mean, obviously, I don't pay attention to that, and like when I do, it's like I don't run my mouth to anybody because it's none of my business. I just keep my head down and just go on about my day, but feel about Luke transferring, yeah, again, I'm not surprised because I mean I feel like he didn't get a fair shot here, but once Luke figures it all out, he's gonna be probably he's gonna be one of the best quarterbacks in college football, guaranteed. And I hope he goes somewhere where he's they use his talent effectively because he's a dual sport guy. I mean not dual sport guy, he's a dual threat guy. He can pass the ball well, and he can also run the ball well. One thing I will say, Luke throws that ball. I'm like, come on, man. Like, he throws that joint like 100 miles per hour. That's the one thing I won't miss about Luke. But other than that, he's definitely a cool person on and off the field. So I'm wishing him and his family the best.
Yeah, I was going to say that to you, and you already brought it up. I was like, the way that you see, like, just watching him during a game on the sideline, just being ready and staying loose, the way he winds up and let that ball go, I was like, man, it looks like he's kind of throwing it hard. And then you said to me, he break your fingers in practice type of hard, I guess.
For sure. Yes, literally. Every single time Luke throws the ball at me, I'm like, come on, dog. I'm like, don't hit the check down. Please don't hit the check down. Please don't hit it.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna catch it regardless, just so make sure he's all right. So
yeah. So Malachi, we know that January 2nd is the official opening of the portal. What can you do in the meantime? Bring me through the process of getting into the portal and, obviously going back to recruitment again, just what this life is like for you between now and January 2nd.
Well, I've been doing rehab not almost every single day, just trying to get my body right. So like when I do go to my new school, I can be ready to go. But I feel like the moment I put my post out there, my phone was buzzing. Instagram, Facebook somehow, Twitter, even Snapchat. I don't even use Snapchat, so it was like, oh yeah, like I gotta put my phone, I gotta turn my phone off because it was just so many notifications. Like it was just so much. Like I told my parents, I was like, guys, like I'll be fine, but I'm turning my phone off like a couple hours because like the amount of notifications I'm getting, the amount of phone calls I'm getting is just unbelievable. And it's like some coaches just following me on Twitter, DMing me, but I can't believe like DM them back. So just keeping that under wraps and just seeing what's gonna happen on January 2nd.
Yeah, and for you, how are you going to handle this thing? Are you looking all over the country? How are you going to tackle round 2 of recruitment, essentially, this new chapter, this new opportunity? What can you say about where this may take you?
I just want to play ball, and I want to go to a place where my potential is going to get maximized, because I'm fast, I run behind my pads, and like I said before, I'm a home run threat, and who wouldn't want a home run threat on their team, So that's really what I'm looking forward to, and just letting God lead and I follow.
You and I both bond on that. We bond on a lot of things, but we definitely bond on our faith. What can you say about that relationship with God, trusting Him through the storm? There's a sign that I have in my studio behind me that says, sometimes God calms the storm, other times He calms the sailor. So what has God done to calm you, to lead you through this storm?
I think He's done to calm me. He's just reassuring me, and just the Bible verses I see on my phone. It's just like it really just relates to what I'm going through. And every day before I wake up, my mom, she sends me these daily messages just from God. And the one she sent today, I'm gonna read it if you don't mind.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Send me this today around 9:30. This one says, hold on. Clear. This one says, December 18th, 2025. God is saying to you today, what's ahead is better than what you left behind. I'm the God of breakthroughs, the God of healing, and the God of more than enough. What the enemy meant for harm, I'm turning around for your good. The sickness, the struggle, and the hardship, it will not have the final say. I'm restoring your health and bringing strength to your body and peace to your mind. The blessing is on its way. The favor is already lined up. The opportunity, the right connections, and the provision. It's coming suddenly, unexpectedly, in ways you never imagined. Walk in faith, keep believing, and keep expecting because I'm about to do something new in your life. Just reading that this morning, I was like, God's definitely got my back, and I should just stop worrying, just let him take the wheel. Because I know I'm going to end up on a football team, like a very good football team. Because like I said, I know I'd be a valuable aspect to any team in the country. So like I said, I'm just waiting for January 2nd just to see what happens.
Is there anybody in the portal that's faster than you?
No, no, no.
You
When
know?
I'm healthy, no way.
Well, and that's the thing. And you asked if I saw the film, and I have. And of you being in your own end zone, taking a handoff, making one guy miss, and then daylight for 99 yards. Then I think you had a 37-yarder after that.
Yep.
I mean, Malachi, you are that guy that if the first person in front of you does not make the right move at exactly the right time, like you said, it's deuces. So, I mean, where did this speed? I mean, is this, okay, between God given and then worked on it, because you work on your body and like people say, like they work to make themselves faster, which some people are like, how do you do that? But how much of this is God given talent, your speed? And then how have you worked to make yourself faster?
I'm gonna feel like it's 50-50. 50% is God, and then the other 50%, my dad. Like I said, I'm wearing this hoodie right now. Shout out Trainer Day James, Joel. Shout out my pops. He's definitely the reason why I'm as fast as I am today. But once I get healthy, hopefully, which is soon, I can get back to speed work with him.
Not everybody has a father who has military training. So how much has that helped you out that you got a drill sergeant out there pushing you every day?
Oh yeah, like especially like when I was in track season, like throughout my elementary years, middle school years, and high school years, he was real strict. But it was tough love at the end of the day. Like say I didn't miss it, say I missed my time on one of the reps. He's not just gonna like have me like make up for it because like he knew like I gave everything I had. But I mean I might get yelled at here and there just to like come on like like I know you're better than this. Like come on like we have people in the country like that's trying to beat us. Because like we're the main target. We can't afford to miss time. So.
What do you want to say publicly about former Syracuse linebackers coach Robert Wright, who made a statement in practice that I was there to hear when the job in the drill was for the running back to go up against like a linebacker or a DB, and it was your job to, as soon as they hiked the ball, to run downfield, get open for a pass that was coming your way. You got open, you received the pass, and Robert Wright said something along the lines of, "Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me?" to the defensive player. He goes, "Do you know who that guy is? Do you know who that man is right there?" And he was pointing to you. He goes, "That's the fastest man in America." Your thoughts on what Robert Wright had to say?
Rob Wright is definitely my guy too. I definitely wish him and his family the best because when I saw he got let go, I was just in shock. But yeah, it's for another day to talk about. I'm not gonna get into all that. But Rob Wright's definitely my guy too, and I didn't include him in my message, but he was another person who was really checking in on me. Like every single time we walked by each other, like he didn't just like let me like walk by without saying anything, like without like a hug or a dap up. So he's definitely a real genuine person. I really hope I wish the best for him and his family going forward.
So for you, having the speed that you have, what else should we know about you? We know you're a track guy. We know you hold a New Jersey record. Can you share with everybody what that record is?
So basically, I got robbed. I got robbed of the state record. Well, not robbed because I have it, but it should be faster. So on May 31st, 2024, on the 100-meter finals of the sectional championship in New Jersey, I ran a 10:18, aka the fastest time to say history, but it wasn't the state record because there wasn't a wind gauge. But what I will say is that the record is like it's under all conditions, which means like a whole lot of wind or just like there's no wind indicator, which was my situation. There was no wind indicator, so God knows what the wind was that day. And when I get to heaven, that's gonna be the first question I ask him, like, God, what was the wind that day? Simple as that.
Yeah.
And I also have the official state record too, which is 10:28. So not far off of 10:18, but
Yeah.
I wish it was 10:1, but I'm not even tripping on it. I'm cemented forever in New Jersey.
Listen, I think when you get to heaven, hopefully 100+ years from now, you're going to say, God, what was it? And God's going to say it was 10:17. So that's
Oh wow. I'm like, thanks God, thanks.
So Malachi James hearing me on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, giving you this exclusive on
Actually,
Malachi.
I have one more thing to say.
Go ahead.
Kind of breaking news right now. My next school, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be playing cornerback.
You're going to be playing corner.
9 times out of 10, yes.
So you're not going to be playing running back anymore.
I mean, I'm open to running back, but my size and my measurables, it's like, I mean, I've been talking to my team, my agency, and they think it's best that at my next school I play cornerback. So, breaking news.
Oh, that is breaking news. Cornerback. Well, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on? I mean, listen, if you got good hands and good speed for a corner, and you got good vision, and you know how to read that quarterback, a ball in the hands of Malachi James is dangerous no matter what position. But if you are playing corner and you can jump that route, or you could just see what's happening, use your speed, you have so many versatile pieces that can be what you need it to be at corner. So I'm thinking interceptions. I'm thinking pick sixes. I'm thinking they think you're out of the play. They think you've been beaten and you run back in and knock the ball out of bounds. How do you feel about playing corner?
At first I was against it, but when I talked with my agent and my dad, they were telling me, like, for one, I'm 6 foot, 205 pounds. I can give you at least I have 10-2, 10-1 speed. And also, like, thinking into the future, like when it comes to the draft, like more DBs get drafted than running backs. Like, there's a DB getting drafted in every single round, no matter if it's safety, corner, nickel, like it doesn't matter. But as a running back, like last year, I think first round it was only Genty and Hampton. Then second round it was the guy from Ohio State. Then after that, I think another running back I drafted for like the next like 3, 4 rounds. So I'm looking at that like, okay, like if I want to get drafted as high as possible, I might as well just make this move.
So going to cornerback potentially here, and also in the kick return, punt return game, it doesn't matter what position you play. It just matters if you can be able to give the team good positioning or have the opportunity to score. So is there the thought that kick return, punt return, we would still see you in the special teams game as a returner, whether you're a corner or a running back?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm definitely gonna be on special teams regardless, because special teams is definitely an important part of the game. But like I said earlier, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take one back either 103 yards or 99 yards, doesn't matter. Not when if. It's not a matter of if, but when.
Who said that to you? Who said the if-when
Um,
conversation?
The announcers during the UConn game, they said it when I was back there when there was 1 second left, and I thought they was gonna kick it to me, but they kicked that joint like into the stands. I'm looking like, oh my gosh.
Well, Malachi, think a little bit deeper here. Before the season started, you did an interview. Who said to you it's not an if but a when?
Oh, yeah. The guy I'm doing the interview with, my guy Dan Tortora on the cut.
I was gonna say, don't be giving that. The UConn announcers may have said it, but I remember we were standing at the Ensley Center, and I said, I got a feeling it's not an if but a when that you're going to return a kick or a punt, and we talked about that going into the season.
Sure, for sure.
And because I said to you, I said, is it an if or a when? And you said, no, I agree with you. It's a when. It's not an if.
I tell you, this season it was sadly an if, because I barely got any chances, because if Tennessee was kicking it over my head, like, what do you think other teams are going to do? So
yeah,
it is what it is. I'm actually, I know I'm gonna get more than 3 for sure.
Malachi James entering the portal. Malachi, you get the final word. We're gonna have you back on the show plenty of times, as you know, but I wanted to make sure that we had this conversation, set the record straight as you move on from Syracuse, because Syracuse fans saying, well, what the heck with these people leaving? And I want Syracuse fans to know this man wanted to stay with you. He wanted to work. He wanted to go out there in orange and blue and do it, and circumstances beyond his control put him in a situation where it was best for him to move forward. As he has stated here, he has 3 years of eligibility. Malachi, you get the final word. What would you like to say to the nation as the portal will open in just, a couple weeks?
For one, I'm gonna be the steal of the portal, guaranteed. And number two, whoever gets me, they're gonna get a dog, a hard worker, an even better person off the field. And when I have a chip on my shoulder, I feel like I'm one of the most dangerous men in the country. Like when it comes to no matter what the sport is, no matter if it's track or football. And also I have one more thing too. Ever since I entered the transfer portal, well, not entered the transfer portal, but said I was going to enter the transfer portal, I've seen some Syracuse fans say some pretty negative and mean things about me. And I'm just saying, at the end of the day, just keep that same energy, Everything y'all said about me, all the negative stuff, keep that same energy. And wherever I go next and I ball out, hope y'all can say the same thing. And when I'm in the NFL, all I can say, getting drafted first or second round is probably all I have to say for real. Like I don't have to talk any words. Just getting drafted as high as possible. That's all the talking I can do.
Yeah. Malachi James, bringing you the real, always sticking up for himself, the faith in God, the confidence, the hard work, the dedication, determination, and weathering the storm. For Malachi James and his family, I appreciate you all, as you know, and I don't consider the last name James or last name Tortora any different. It is one big family, and I cannot wait to talk with you again very soon. Thank you for spending some time
Appreciate
today.
you, my guy.
Of course, man.
Thank you.
God bless and happy early Christmas to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You too. Hopefully you and your family stay safe.
Yeah, you too. I'll talk with you soon, Malachi.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Take care. That coming from Malachi James one more time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. That exclusive coming to you only on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So if you see this anywhere else, well, those people stole it, which is what they do. We'll take a step aside for a fast break here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios and wrap things up right after this.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina.
Avicoli's Restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on in to the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's KAMP ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So K9 Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. K9 Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry loving friend. Right, Lily?
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Head over to GG Cards and Breaks for all your holiday needs, for getting those stocking stuffers and those awesome gifts under the tree for those that you love. GG Cards and Breaks open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, Sundays from 10 to 5, and we can't wait to see you go over there and be a big kid like so many have gotten to be. It doesn't matter your age. My godson, who's 10 years old, he said to me last night, he said, "Uncle Dan, you know that sports card shop you talked to me about? When are you going to take me over there?" And he's never been to a sports card shop. And I told him I wanted his first place. I wanted to be the one to bring him to his first sports card shop. And the only place I want to bring him to is GG Cards and Breaks. And he asked me about it yesterday. So to Josh and Anthony and the team, just know that we're going to make history with another person here that has the opportunity to have their first experience be GG Cards and Breaks. And why not have your first experience be your best experience? So with that being said, head over to 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, right off of Teal Ave today. Big time shout out to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt. You know the peppermint chip shake is back, and if you're not going to get there, I'm going to get there before you. I might take them all. So you got to get out there to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. Do not miss a moment at Chick-fil-A. Megan Sorber and her team are doing a fantastic job with the biggest Chick-fil-A in our area. I have been to multiple states, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Florida, Georgia, down in the South, up in the Northeast, wherever it may be, Texas and whatnot. I have never seen a Chick-fil-A this ginormous. Get out to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt. You'll know what I'm talking about. The giant brick building. You cannot miss it. And while everybody's doing Christmas and holiday shopping, you're in the hustle and bustle on Erie Boulevard and Bridge Street. Why not stop at Chick-fil-A and get some food, refuel yourself over there with Megan Sorber and her team at Chick-fil-A DeWitt, corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. We'll see you there. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Christmas sweater is on. Happy to be here with you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Player of the Week, proudly presented exclusively by Myers Creek. We gave you a double dose today. Shout out to Anaj Pitts as well as to Nathan Quirk for being celebrated today. by Myers Creek and our community of Central and Upstate New York for our high school player of the week. And many thanks to Papa Joe. Many thanks to Malachi James for this exclusive with him. YouTube.com, Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. Make sure that you connect with us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, you can find us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you got to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Make sure you support our wonderful Central and Upstate New York partners, Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Myers Creek, Chick-fil-A, Cicero, Pizza Man, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, perfect for stocking stuffers this season and always. Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A DeWitt, Mother's Cupboard, Game Point Sports Complex, Brian's Landing, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Avicoli's, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Onondaga Community College Lasers, Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse, and Binghamton University Bearcats. You'll find the Lasers every other Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, exclusively here on Wake Up Call. You'll find the Bobcats every single month, and you'll find the Binghamton University Bearcats every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time during Bearcat Time. You'll find our content with each of these wonderful exclusive multimedia marketing partners by going to youtube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find our OCC playlist for the Lasers, our BSC Syracuse playlist for the Bobcats, and our Binghamton playlist for the Bearcats. They're also all on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information on the Lasers, go to OnondagaLasers.com. On your Bobcats, go to Syracuse.bscbobcats.com. And on your Bearcats, go to BinghamtonBearcats.com. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay well. I am going to be doing a live show in just, a half an hour or so. So make sure you stay tuned to Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. From the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I say, God bless, no stress, do your best. We are a week from Christmas. Happy birthday in heaven to my great Aunt Dorothy. I love you and I miss you so very much. Give my grandma a hug and give a hug to yourself, and grandma give her a hug as well. Happy birthday to those fantastic gals up in heaven, just 2 days apart in their birthdays, my G-Mama and my great Aunt Dorothy. And we are exactly a week from Christmas, so Merry early Christmas, everybody. Take care. God bless. No stress. Do your best. We'll talk soon.